links in the description. If you like this topic, please do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video as you see fit. Trigger warning. This involves the murder, the death of an entire family. It's a very shocking and sad situation. So I'm going to read through pretty much the whole article, the first part of the article. But again, links are in the description should you wish to read through that in your own good time. German husband kills himself, his wife, and their 3 young children after he faked a COVID jab certificate and feared his children would be taken away when it was discovered. So we're going to read through the full article. A man killed himself, his wife, and 3 young girls after he faked a COVID jab certificate. Police found 2 adults, both 40 years of age, and 3 children, aged 4, 8, and 10, dead from gunshot head wounds in a family home in Königs Wusterhausen, south of Berlin, on Saturday. In a pages-long farewell note found by police, the man, whose name is David R., said that he forged a vaccination certificate for his wife, Linda. There's David, the wife, the 3 young girls. So he forged a vaccination certificate for his wife, Linda. Her employer had found out, prompting the couple to fear that they would be arrested and lose their children, Lenny, Janny, and Ruby. Police were called to the house on Saturday after being alerted by witnesses who had seen lifeless bodies in the house. Pictures of the young family alongside candles and teddies, plush toys, were left outside the property in tribute. So there's the candles, the plush toys placed outside of their house as a remembrance, a tribute. The article continues, submitting a fake COVID-19 vaccine certificate became a criminal offence 2 weeks ago and is punishable by either a fine or a year's jail term. Investigators suspect that the man killed his wife and children and then himself. They found a gun in the house, but it wasn't immediately clear whether it was the weapon used to fire the fatal shots. They found no indication that anyone else was present at the time or that anyone forced their way into the house. Police said autopsies on the 5 bodies were underway and will determine how long the family had been dead. And the article wraps up. The grisly case comes as Germany has been tightening up restrictions to try to stem a 4th wave of the coronavirus pandemic. The incoming German government wants to make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory from March 16th for people working in hospitals, nursing homes, and other medical practices. So that's as much of the article that I'm going to read through. The article continues to tell us about the German situation in regards to COVID-19 and mandated vaccines, lockdowns, that kind of thing. It goes into further details should you want to go to the link. There is the article, an incredibly sad story. Seemingly, the father shot dead his entire family, his wife, his 3 beautiful young girls, his 3 beautiful young children, and then himself. I'm going to say, obviously I don't know anything, but I've got to say that's a moment of madness. That's an insane action. He feared that his family, his children would be taken away from himself and his wife, which I would imagine is an irrational fear. The article tells us right here that faking a COVID-19 vaccine certificate is punishable by either a fine or a year's term. So the fact that his wife's employer discovered that there was a falsification, Sure, that's going to be damning. There might well have been repercussions because of that. She may have lost her job. There might have been some smearing on social media, Facebook or such. They may have suffered a fine. There may have even been a jail sentence. So I can understand the anxiety that would be caused by this situation, as well as the anger. I mean, if you're there thinking, well, I don't want to subject myself to this, I'm unhappy with the mandates, and then you're boxed into this corner and you think that the way out is to falsify a vaccine certificate and it blows up in your face. I can imagine it's extremely emotional, but at the same time, it's obviously, this is a very stupid thing for me to say, but obviously it doesn't warrant the massacre of your own family. So to me, my takeaway from this is obviously it's an incredibly sad story, but it just seems like I'm going to say another event of madness, another event of madness in these troubling times. Is it just that David R., who in this picture, for whatever a picture is worth, seems like a very respectable family man, was David R., did he suffer mental illness? Or perhaps the mental illness has been brought upon, or was brought upon, by these troubling times, by the pandemic, by lockdowns, by mandated vaccines, by his views on that situation and his actions. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit, but it just seems to me that this is kind of another example of madness, which may not have been there if it weren't for, ultimately COVID-19 and the subsequent changes to the world that have been brought upon through the proliferation of COVID-19.